Bridge to North Highlands kids. So there was an end to this story, at least another step in the story, and I think that the decisions of the board that you made earlier were, as I said, sound decisions because they turned out to be right.
Yeah.
In the best interest of our district.
I've seen the same thing in soccer, but they wanted to keep it one all-star team instead of when they really had an effort to, I almost lost it. But
Well, I knew from being on the Little League board before that Little League requires you to expand your all-star programs based on not the number of kids that are participating, but the population area that you serve. So what do we have, 35 to 40,000 in North Highlands? When you add that to Antelope, that allowed them to create, or they had to create 2 all-star programs. And he clearly said, he said it weakens our program to have 2, so we decided to go 1. So actually, no North Highland kids can participate in our program.
yeah,
So,
but how do they even know how good the kids are from North Highlands? It's ludicrous.
well, maybe you should have thought about it before when they realized where their field was that they were using. But anyway, I want to share that with you.
Okay, I'm sorry, Scott, do you have anything else? Okay. Anyone else?
No.
You sure? Terry just pointed at you. She's throwing you under the bus.
Sorry.
Mark, put back in her minutes. You sure, Terry, you want to talk?
Point to him.
Okay.
Well, I will brag on Mark a little bit while he's here for this meeting that our.
Did you say brag or rag?
Be brag.
Okay, just check. I'm sorry. I'm old, I don't hear well.
We actually had a very good registration for the basketball program, as I pointed out in my report. The league grades 2 through 8 is up 11% over projection, up more than that from last year's comparables, and the Pee Wee program just blew up. So we're super excited about that. And I think it speaks a lot to Mark and his team. Tried some creative marketing strategies and just kind of got the word out, and it really paid off. So we're excited to have it off to a good start so far, 2 weeks into the season. So I'd like to let Mark know we appreciate the good job he did in the run up to this season. Thanks, Scott.
By the way, if you need any basketball refs, right here.
No,
Oh,
no,
great.
I know. That's
We're hiring. We are.
All right, we'll go
I
ahead.
might be a cheerleader though.
We'll,
Chairman?
no. We'll go ahead and move on. Item
Chairman
7.
Montfort.
I'm sorry.
Not only did youth sports take an increase, your adult sports, according to your report here, also expanded by 2 teams because of an online marketing program as well. So.
Yeah, the Facebook page, we're generating a lot of hits every day on it, and now that we're really tracking to see where our marketing is coming from. 2 new teams to our league said that they found us via the Facebook page.
Yeah, fantastic.
Something that's increasing over time. So.
And it doesn't sound like a big bump, but when you get 4 and 5 teams consistently, we run that program year round.
Right.
Adding 2 is a pretty big deal. It's added a lot of new energy to the league too, so we're excited about that.
Yeah. Sorry about that. So item 7, correspondence, we have none. Item 8, comments, reports from citizens and organizations. You sure? This is your chance.
I'm good.
You can say anything you want about anyone. Okay.
Hey!
Item 9, unfinished business, we have none. Item 10, new business. Is there any new business?
Yes, we have lots. I saw that too.
Oh, it's not good.
Okay, new business, item A, selection of personnel policy. Board discussion, action revising districts, policy, selection personnel. Who's taking this?
Larry.
Larry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, just checking. I wasn't sure if it was the committee or.
Well, so I'll make it real simple. We have one way of, the district, according to this policy manual, has really one way of hiring full-time employees. And when I met with the committee, what I provided them was options to expand that. And I stated the reasons why in the report. But when you're small, a district like ours, sometimes we can't afford to do the traditional 2 to 3 month recruiting process. And also, too, I think that by having a flexible hiring policy, it allows the district to look inside to see does it have qualified people who can do the job. And so we have a way of providing upward mobility within the organization. And the bottom line is we wanted to offer more than just one way of being able to hire staff. And so I didn't make a lot of this stuff up. I actually did some research with other districts and other cities, and I kind of culled some language that they used, and many of them have more than 2 ways of hiring full-time employees, but we had one. So the recommendation is to basically, in addition to the open hiring process, which is what we have now, is to provide an internal promotional hiring process as described.
Members of the committee want to say anything?
I agree with Larry. I think that most organizations do have two processes, 2 methods for hiring new staff. And we were very limited by our bylaws and our policy that we had before to only have the one method. It also does something that I think is really key to the development of our staff too, is it rewards high-performing staff for the job that they had done, and it also gives them an internal career path to move up, and internally, without having to compete with a lot of outside interest if the district administrator determines that they have the skills to move in that direction. So I would agree with Larry that it provides us not only flexibility in our hiring, but it also promotes a career path for our current employees moving forward.
Yeah, based on the size of our district, I mean, I agree with this. Based on where a couple of us work, doesn't work that way. Any other comments? If not, can I have a motion to approve, what's the number again? 2010-22.
So moved. Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion passed unanimously. Next item is...
I'm sorry,
Oh, I'm sorry.
Chairman. We found a little glitch here, but I think we're okay.
Okay.
We have in your packet, there's a report from Scott about the 2015 summer program, but I noticed it's not actually listed on the agenda. I think what happened was it got tucked in behind his recreation report as an extension of that report. And if you wouldn't mind, I'd like to have Scott take a few minutes and kind of walk you through it, because there's some critical information in there that's...
Oh, yeah, there it is.
Yeah, it has to do with swimming, and I think it's something we need to talk around
No, that's
about.
fine.
7.5 foot?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, the kind of the background on the report that we put together really goes back to the end of last summer. Knowing that the contract was expiring to use the community pool at the old Campus Verdes location, Larry and Mark and I, involving some of our part-time aquatic staff as well, getting their feedback, kind of met and critically reviewed what had gone on this past summer, the good things and the things that needed improvement, and really more importantly where we were going in the future. Knowing that the pool that we'd had access to for years and years and years was not going to be available to us. We knew, we were fairly confident that we were going to be able to secure the Highlands High School swimming pool, so we had a location for our youth swim team, which, you know, as of last year, we had 115 kids participating in, so it's a high volume, well-recognized program. Our main concerns were with recreational swim lessons, and pool rentals. So we looked at it, like again, like I said, in a critical matter, and you know, what can we do with what we have available? And you know, after looking at what we had at the community pool, you know, the varying depth, the L-shaped configuration that allowed for multiple things going on at the same time. You know, we literally had swim team going one direction, swim lessons going another part of the pool, going another direction. You know, we reviewed the layout at the high school, and that pool simply is not similar. It's a rectangular pool, 8 lanes, one consistent depth, which is ideal for competitive swimming because it allows the use of dive blocks and things that we were not able to do at our community pool at the swim team last year. But as I pointed out in the report, we looked at those various programs that we'd offered in the past, and we asked ourselves, you know, can we do these things? Can we offer these various parts of our aquatic program. Is it 100% safe to do so? And then the third question was, what's the public's perception going to be? I know some of you here have had kids go through our swim lessons, and you've seen lessons go on for years and years and years. And you know, let's be honest, we get our share of those kids that are not quite ready to leave mom or dad. You know, they'll sit on that pool deck and kind of wail away for a little while until our staff is able to coax them into the water. You know, when you're looking at 4.5 feet of water as opposed to 7.5 feet of water, sometimes, you know, that can be soothing for the parents, at least allay some of their concerns. The way we looked at it as we explored this issue more and more and got more in depth with it, pardon that pun, the 7.5 feet was just a little more than we could comfortably go forward with when it came to swim lessons. Keep in mind the bulk of our swim lessons are offered to children skewed younger, you know, kids as young as 2 and 3, all the way up to, you know, 4, 5, and 6, primarily beginners. We do have intermediate swimmers, and we do have some older swimmers, but the bulk of the lessons are offered to younger kids. You know, we explored some options. Can we use flotation devices, belts, vests, things like that? And you know, after doing a lot of research online, talking to our counterparts in other districts and throughout not just this region, but throughout the state, there's a pretty strong feeling that flotation devices provide a false sense of security to young kids in the water. So we looked into that, and we only really found one agency that uses flotation. So then we looked at you know, modifications to the pool itself, you know, primarily platforms. And I know we've used platforms in the past in shallower depth. What it came down to was in 7.5 feet of water, you know, you'd have to extend a platform probably 4.5, 5 feet to allow young kids to be able to still be submerged and an instructor to be able to do their thing. At the end of the day, the stability of a platform and that depth, getting kids in and out of the pool safely, it really became apparent as we got deeper into this that it was going to be a challenge to offer rec swim lessons and rentals. Part of our discussion as we reviewed the summer as well was trying to expand what we're offering in other areas. We have a wonderful day camp program. I think Mark has done a fantastic job, and the kids we bring in to work with us every summer to create a very positive, nurturing environment. But at the end of the day, it's basically an extension of our after-school child care program. We get a lot of those kids that go to Ridge Point come over and stay in the summer program. And we'll get 15 kids on an average basis. On a good week, we'll get 20, 25 kids. Certainly the capacity is for more. We've just never been able to kind of take it over that hump. So, you know, we're thinking maybe the price point is, you know, it's a little bit restricted to some of our residents. So, you know, Larry comes in with fresh eyes and a fresh perspective and kind of challenged us to think a little bit outside the box. And one of the challenges was to do maybe something that's a little bit less expensive. And as we put in the report, one of our recommendations is to offer some free summer programming. Back in my experiences when I worked with the city of Monterey, we had a pretty vibrant playground program. It's a pure drop-in. Yes, we staff it. Yes, we provide the games and the activities and the arts and the crafts and all that stuff. We get the paperwork on every child. We get emergency cards if we had to make contact with parents, but we make it clear that it's a drop-in program. It's for recreation. It's not child care. The idea is to expand the exposure in our parks to a new group of families, give those parents that want something for their kids to do an option for them to have something to do. We looked at Freedom Park, obviously, kind of our crown jewel, and then also the park up at Ridge Point. That's a neighborhood we'd like to get more active in and more involved in. And then the other thing we kicked around and would like to go forward with is offering something to complement day camp, and it's primarily some specialty camps. We work with some independent contractors here. We've got dance, gymnastics, hip hop, some things like that. So our idea is to take that concept